It goes without saying that if you haven't watched The Office, there will be spoilers upon spoilers in this video.
TMI. TMI, my friends.
So maybe you'll want to go do a quick 9-season binge before coming back. You've been warned. Now, a tale as old as time, a classic story of good and evil, is Michael Scott's absolute hatred for Toby. How was it that during Michael's entire run as regional manager at Dunder Mifflin, he was unable to get rid of Toby, but somehow, when Dwight became regional manager, he was able to do what Michael couldn't? You'd think that Michael would have figured out some sort of loophole to dispose of his mortal enemy, but it only took his successor a short amount of time to do so. Now, you can have all sorts of theories on this, but the easiest explanation is that it's simply a plot hole in an otherwise masterpiece of a show. And it's just one of many that you may have missed the first, second, third, fourth, or even 10th time watching. So get comfortable, grab a glass of beet juice, and let's get right into it. Perhaps one of the biggest enigmas in the show is the Bernard family. Throughout the course of the show, there has been a number of inconsistencies when it comes to Andy's parents. In the season 4 finale, when Andy famously sabotages Jim's proposal to Pam with his own proposal to Angela, he introduces his parents as Andrew and Ellen Bernard. In the delivery, Andy revealed that he was originally named Walter Jr. after his dad, but his brother took the name when he was born instead. His parents' actors have changed as well, as evidenced when they appear in the Garden Party episode, where he also reintroduces them as Walter and Ellen Bernard. Now, if that wasn't confusing enough, in Secretary's Day, Andy says if it wasn't for secretaries, he wouldn't have a stepmom. But as far as we know, his parents are together up until this point, unless the mom we've seen is actually his stepmom? Okay, this is getting too confusing. Needless to say, the Bernard family tree seems a bit complicated. When Pam was at the job fair, the recruiter she meets at the booth for a graphic design school is actually the same actor that plays Nick, the IT guy who shows up later on in season 6. Now, while it isn't stated outright, it's somewhat possible that they could be the same person. But to go from graphic design to information technology in the course of, 2 years? That seems like a bit of a stretch. Okay, so you're gonna notice a bit of a trend here, but there's a number of actors who return to the show as different characters. At Dwight's Hay Place Festival in Season 7, we see him take money from a kid in order to ride inside the truck again, and he seems rather unfamiliar with the kid. However, the same actor plays Dwight's nephew Cammy in the farm episode, as we see him helping Dwight around the farm. Now, we could see this as Dwight being a cheap uncle who takes his nephew's money, or less remarkably, they simply recast the young actor in an unrelated role. David Wallace is a character we've only gotten a peek at during the course of the show. But from the little bit that we got about his personal life, there was one clear inconsistency when it came to his family. In Season 6, Michael attempts to call Wallace at his corporate office by using a little girl voice in order to get through the receptionist. Wallace even answers the phone saying, "Hey, sweetie." However, other than this one reference, David Wallace isn't known to have a daughter. We've only ever seen his son. Oh, speaking of David Wallace, in the episode Branch Closing, when Michael and Dwight go to confront Wallace at his home, his front doormat reads H, which doesn't make sense considering no one in his household has a name starting with H. His wife's name is Rachel, and his son's name is Teddy. Maybe this is a reference to the name of his mysterious daughter. Or even better, the name of his musical duo. Of all of the iconic staff at Dunder Mifflin Scranton, someone's gotta be the OG, right? Well, there's conflicting mentions of who's considered to be the resident senior of the branch. In Season 3, Phyllis is deemed by Michael to be the resident senior, while Stanley has been said to have started working at Dunder Mifflin a day before Phyllis, so he should technically be the resident senior, right? But in the case that Michael was referring to age, it still wouldn't be Phyllis, as we all know Creed would take that title.
I'm 30. Well, in November I'll be 30.
Yet another character who's been played by two actresses is Pam's mom, Helen Beasley. Shannon Cochran plays her at the beginning of the show, and Linda Pearl plays her when the character returns in Season 6, Episode 4 for Jim and Pam's wedding. Pearl's incarnation of the character is also the version of the character that Michael briefly dates.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess we could say she's the lucky one for getting to date Michael. Or, the unlucky one? We'll leave that one open for interpretation.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true.
There are a few instances in the series which question whether Jim or Pam first worked at Dunder Mifflin. In Season 2, Episode 13, Jim says that he had a crush on Pam since she first started working there, leading us to assume that he worked there first. However, in Season 4, Episode 3, when Jim and Pam are on the roof, he tells her that he first fell in love with her on his first day when she showed him to his seat. Can you define paradox? Now, we all know that Jim famously breaks the fourth wall, staring at the audience on occasion, but there's one moment where he takes it a step further. When Meredith returns after getting hit by Michael's car in a previous episode, Jim signs her cast, not as Jim Halpert, but as John Krasinski. Now, this could either be chalked up to his handwriting being very messy, or it was maybe just a gag the crew decided to leave in after the fact. And I mean, to be fair, they probably didn't account for us geeks picking apart every little thing. You'd think that this one would be obvious, but there are conflicting statements about when Jim and Pam first kissed. In the first Dundies episode, when Pam drunkenly accepts her reward for whitest shoes, she surprisingly gives Jim a smooch on the lips. Now, by definition, this is their first technical kiss. However, perhaps their first meaningful kiss happens in the finale of the same season, Casino Night, in the office after Jim finally professes his love for her. In Goodbye Toby, Jim says the first time him and Pam kissed was right outside the office, adding to the idea that the second kiss was indeed the first. Now, it might not seem as romantic or glamorous, and no one seems to want to accept it. That drunken Dundies kiss was the first.
No, God!
Now, birthdays should be relatively consistent, right? Well, that doesn't seem to be the case at Dunder Mifflin. In Season 1, Episode 4, Pam tells Michael that there are no upcoming birthdays until next month, the closest being Meredith's. And as a way to distract from the potential downsizing in the office, Michael pushes up her birthday party early. However, in Season 4, Episode 11, Angela tells Jim that it's a big birthday month and Meredith is the last in a series of back-to-back birthdays, meaning that there should have been someone else's birthday party before her in Season 1. Angela is one of those characters with strong beliefs, to put it lightly. Throughout the series, she's made it clear that she is a vegetarian. However, there are several instances where she contradicts this statement. She tells Andy that he can take her out, but specifies that there can be no vegetables wherever he takes her. On another occasion, Angela tells Oscar that when her son was conceived, there was too much wine in her chicken piccata. Maybe Angela made a diet choice somewhere down the line. Or maybe she never was vegetarian, who knows? Another inconsistency with Angela is her relationship with her sister and possibly how many sisters she has. In Season 3, Angela talks about an ongoing feud with her sister and that they haven't talked in years. However, in the series finale, she appears to be best friends with her sister, even going so far as having their own secret language. Explaining this within the continuity could either point to Angela having reconciled her relationship with her sister or possibly having another sibling. In Season 3, when Michael, Jim, and Dwight go to the Philadelphia Supply Convention, Michael makes a surprising deal for Dunder Mifflin to sell Hammermill products who were previously exclusive to Staples. However, in Season 5, during the ethics seminar, Meredith admits to sleeping with Bruce from Hammermill Products for the past 6 years in order to sell their products, which doesn't add up in the timeline. Riding a bike is one of those things that once you've learned, typically you won't forget, right? Well, that doesn't seem to be the case for Michael Scott. In Season 3, Michael rides a bike that he plans to donate to charity, but in Season 7, Michael forgets how to ride a bike in the cold opener when he tries to ride Oscar's. Now, considering the anomaly that is Michael Scott, he is someone who we could genuinely believe would forget something like riding a bike. He truly is one of a kind, in every sense. Can we all agree that the most memorable thing about your workplace is the flooring? When Dwight fires a gun at the floor, Oscar notices that there are hardwood floors. This is seen as a revelation since it's always been covered in carpet. However, in Season 9, Episode 11, when everyone is full of caffeine from the new espresso machine, they tear up the carpet and Oscar is once again surprised that there are hardwood floors, forgetting about the previous experience. Come on now, Oscar, you don't forget a thing like that. Workplace safety should be essential anywhere you work, and at Dunder Mifflin, they went an exceptionally long time without any accidents. Or did they? In Season 2, when Michael destroys the warehouse with a forklift, Madge resets the number of days without an accident all the way from 900. However, in safety training, Daryl says they've never gone a year without accidents. Now, unless the yearly calendar consists of more than 900 days in the world of The Office, we can assume this was a genuine mistake. There clearly were a lot of things that were still getting hashed out back in the first season. One of those things being what Meredith's job is. During her early birthday party, she was described as being an accountant in Jim's birthday message. However, in later seasons, her job has been related to purchasing and supplier relations. To be fair, Season 1 had the show still finding its footing, so we can forgive it for any of its early inconsistencies. Pam shows impressive skills playing volleyball in the company picnic episode. She says she played volleyball in junior high, high school, college, and even summer camp. However, she contradicts this statement in the job fair episode when she says that she used to fake having PMS in order to get out of playing the sport. Toby sells Girl Scout cookies on behalf of his daughter in Season 8, claiming that it is the first year she's selling cookies. But in Season 5, Toby asks Dwight to buy Girl Scout cookies from his daughter. Now this is either an honest mistake or some kind of sinister tactic Toby uses to make sales. I guess that's exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from the Scranton Strangler. We can really see why Michael hates him so much now. Now, who knew that there were so many little mistakes lingering in the background of this masterpiece of a show? It just goes to show that despite all these minor errors, the show has still managed to maintain a huge following after all these years. But what do you guys think? Did you catch any of these plot holes before? Were there any that we missed? Let us know down in the comments, and while you're down there, hit that notification bell, give this video a like if you liked it, hopefully you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more videos like this and a whole bunch of other stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.